Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pig. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. We've been on fire these last 2 weeks with the upsets. Let's keep it going. No one does it better than us. Let's get to the first game. We're going to the AFC South. We got the Indianapolis Colts at the Jacksonville Jags. Colts +4. Listen, this channel was built. I'm not saying the reason why it exploded, but a big part of it was 3-4 years ago, we knew when to bet the Jags and we knew when to lay off. This is the time when you need to lay off this Jags team. Coming off a big win, 2 weeks in London, eating that crappy food. Now they're back in South Florida. I question the home field advantage. I question how much of an effect it will have on this game. And I'm looking at a Colts team that is just proficient. There's nothing sexy. There's nothing extravagant, but they are efficient and proficient. I'm looking at Minshew, and the Jags will give you those short passes, man. They'll give you that 5-yard pass. They'll give you that 7-yard hitch on the outside. They like to sit back and cover 3. They don't like to send pressures, and I think Minshew will be able to move that ball up and down the field consistently. Now you get to both teams' run game. Listen, I love Lawrence. I think he's playing at a damn high level, and he will make plays this game. But this Colts defense is good, and this Colts defense is very, very good at stopping the run. On the other side, I think the Colts will be able to run it on the Jags. I do. No one's really tried to pound the Jags into submission this year. I think we're going to see more JT, but we saw what Zach Moss did last week. And when you look at this Colts team, like I said, there's nothing extravagant, but they run the ball, they use play action, they have good play calls in the red zone. And I do feel like this Jags team is suffering a little bit without Pederson as play caller. I don't know how involved he is in the play calls, but from what the media is saying, from what Peterson is saying, he's not doing it. And we just haven't seen the type of explosive plays the Jags offense offered last year. Listen, I'm going Colts, winning the cover on the road. I like them with the points. I like a money line. Next game, we got the New Orleans Saints at the Houston Texans. Strong Texans +1.5. Texans to win in the cover. And everyone was getting excited, dare I say, maybe a little bit punch drunk last week, picking the Texans to beat the Falcons. I started this Texans bandwagon, and I told you guys to lay off. But this week, I'm telling you to get back on. And I like this matchup from a Texans perspective. I do feel like Carr is still hurt. I don't think his shoulder is fully functioning. I don't think he's going to be able to spray it around the field like some people seem to think. And I like the small strides this Texans defense is taking as the year goes on. Forced two turnovers last week. They're stopping the run better. We didn't see Bijan Robinson do much in the run game last week, and that has to be a big positive builder for this DeMeco Ryans defense. And when you look at C.J. Stroud, man, he just takes care of the ball, and I think this is going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a gritty game, and we damn well know it's going to be an ugly game. I'm just looking at, listen, I think Stroud will make more plays than Carr this game. I'm a little bit worried about Tank Dell's injury. I'm just not loving what I've seen from the Saints this year. And I understand they're trying to run the ball a lot. They have to run the ball a lot due to Carr's shoulder injury. I don't think they'll be able to pound the Texans, and that's the big part of this game. This is where this game is going to be decided. I think the Colts ran it damn near 40 times against the Patriots, and, people are going to get emotional. Patriots blow out. Saints blow out the Patriots. But how much does that count for? How much do you want to put stake in that as the weeks go on? I'm not putting a lot of stake in it. I'm taking Texans. This is a similar situation to when we hit the upset with Texans against the Steelers. Next game, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. The best gambling show on the internet. Let's get to the Baltimore Ravens going to London versus the Tennessee Titans. Titans are +4. Man, I do think this comes down to a field goal game. And on this very video, on Tuesday's video, I told you last week, this Ravens-Steelers game is coming down to a field goal, coming down to the last drive, and I wasn't too wrong. And I think this Titans game and against the Ravens is going to be rather similar. I don't think this Ravens offense is as good as the media has been hyping up or as good as they think they are. And outside of Zay Flowers, are any of these weapons for Lamar Jackson really prolific, really dominant? And like I mentioned earlier this year, I'm not liking the way Lamar Jackson is taking care of the ball. And I'm not sure the Ravens will have a running game. Like, we know Lamar's going to have his 3 or 4 scrambles because he is an absolute god on the football field. But moving that interior, that front 7 of the Titans defense is no small order, and I just don't think they're going to be able to do it. So then this game comes down to Lamar Jackson's arm and what's Tannehill going to do. Obviously, Tannehill can't do much, but I have to say, I was wrong about something. DeAndre Hopkins has been absolutely phenomenal this year, and he always gives Tannehill a target. I think he hits a few deep, and I do wonder who runs the ball better, Titans or Ravens. Titans really haven't been able to get that offensive line moving forward too well. But I think they do it this game. I think the Titans pull an upset. I think I think people talking about the Ravens getting in London earlier, listen, there's no data on if it helps or hurts. I would prefer to get there Friday like the Titans and then get the fuck out of there. Next game, we got the Arizona Cards. Okay, I'm joking about this one. I do think the Rams win it, but I want to talk about the Cowboys and Chargers. And Chargers are +2, +2.5, depending on your book. I really think the Chargers match up well against the Cowboys this game. I think they throw it better. I think their defense has more confidence. I'm worried about the confidence of this Cowboys team. The only thing I worry about the Chargers, man, we're seeing a great pass rush from the Chargers. We're seeing the defense play better than it did last year, but I worry about Brandon Staley. That's the only reason why I'm not betting this game. But if we talk about matchups, if we talk about which of these teams looks better at this moment in time, I got to go the Chargers. And I do wonder, are the Cowboys going to recover? Are the Cowboys running the ball good enough? And there was a commenter on YouTube yesterday, and I think he made a good point. McCarthy just doesn't want to give Pollard enough touches. And in this league, you got to have run-pass balance, especially when you got a quarterback like Dak Prescott. I don't want Dak Prescott throwing it 40 times, and I don't want him throwing it 40 times against this Chargers defensive line that is playing at a high level. The only worry about this game for me is Staley, and we've seen him try to throw away all 4 games in the fourth quarter, and I'm not exaggerating, bros. I am not exaggerating. I think the Chargers, I believe they get Eckler back. I think that is the X factor. This is going to be a sweater. This is going to be a close game. Looking forward to watching it, but I think the Chargers win this late. And Herbert's been playing great football. I think Herbert plays better football than Cowboys. Unfortunately, the Chargers have no home field advantage, so we know it's going to be like 70% them boys fans. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. The best gambling show on the internet. And I gotta tell you, man, I do think like this Rams -7 is way too high. I'm not saying the Cardinals are gonna win the fucking game, but the fact that this escalated up, to -7, -7.5 on some books, man, it's tempting. It's tempting. Pew pew, bet the Cardinals.